Imagine you move from a place where you lived all your life. Imagine you move and you leave all your children and wife. Starting all over again, but no one you know is around. Well, they didn't have to imagine. They built it up from the ground. How does it sound? Not easy cause it isn't. Could have praised them, but it didn't. But the Ray Bond, that's a winner. And they ran straight to the finish. You get to know them up close and personal. Wait, just give me a minute. Welcome to the front row. Can I get a drum roll? Intentional. We may be immigrants, but we are still intentional. We are dependable. It's just that set the bar, but still the best of all. We are intentional.
Welcome to the Intentional Immigrants Podcast. Here we look at immigrants and their journeys to settle in a new, unfamiliar place. They, as pioneers, have embarked on uncharted territories so that you will be able to share in their trials, challenges, joys, and triumphs. We will learn from them so that you will not make the same mistakes. If you are a new immigrant, take hope. There is light at the end of your tunnel. You are not alone. Others have gone before you, and they have left a light for you to see. Let us welcome today's guest, Dwayne Taylor. He's an experienced financial professional who is passionate about strategizing and delivering customer-centric solutions to drive efficiency gains. Dwayne has over 10 years' experience in the financial industry with an adept knowledge in retail sales credit and investments. Dwayne is also an entrepreneur and a music lover. Here are some interesting facts about Jamaica. Jamaica is a former British colony. It gained its independence on August 6, 1962. Its population is approximately 2.7 million people. Its official language is English. It's located in the Caribbean, south of Cuba. Its flag colors are black, green, and gold. Black portrays the strength and originality of the people. Gold, the usual beauty of the sunlight and the wealth of the republic. And green means hope and agricultural resources. Let us listen to Dwayne's story. Hi, Dwayne. Welcome to the Intentional Immigrants Podcast. We're happy to have you here today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Dwayne Taylor. I'm from Jamaica. I migrated to Canada 7 years. Well, this year makes 7 years. I grew up in Jamaica all my life, and I'm a lover of music. My main experience in my career-wise is in the financial industry ever since I've left from university back in 2008. I'm a girl dad, and I love to travel when I can. And as I mentioned, I love music as well.
Oh, you're a girl dad. Okay then. I didn't know there was a difference.
It's I think it's a new phrase that they came up with last year for highlighting the fathers who have daughters. So.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Have you had the chance to go back to Jamaica?
Yes. Back in 2019, I had a chance to go home 3 times. I went home 3 times.
Wow.
Yes. One was for an unfortunate event, but the other 2 was for pleasure. First time in 5 years.
Okay. How did that feel?
It felt good. It felt really good. I was able to just reconnect with my roots, able to catch up with friends and family I haven't seen in a while, and just be able to just immerse in, my home country's culture again.
Yeah. It's very different when you get to go back the first time.
Yeah, I'll give you a joke. The first thing when I came off the plane to see my family was I had to make a stop at KFC. As you know, Jamaicans and the KFC.
You stopped at KFC. I always have to get some coconut water from the gentleman at the airport. I don't even leave the airport.
Yeah.
I go right across the street.
Yeah.
And get my coconut water and jelly there.
Wow.
And then my trip can begin.
Yes, I totally understand.
So I always make sure I have some Jamaican currency, so that when I go, I don't have to wait on anybody to buy the stuff that I need. What do you miss most about your country of birth?
I miss the people the most. The people are very vibrant. I took for granted that there was never a dull day around even my co-workers and even friends and family. There's a sense of vibrance that our people bring to just about anything in life, so even at work, you may have had a stressful job, but the people around you made it easier.
Mm-hmm.
There was this sense of community, and
Yes.
that's what I really miss. And
Yeah.
of course, I miss the weather, especially these times.
Yes, I understand. What place or activity would you recommend to someone visiting your country for the first time? A must see, must have, must experience.
Definitely you need to go. I would say someone visiting needs to go to Portland. The scenery is amazing. It's one of the most beautiful places in Jamaica. I think also a bit not experienced enough by even Jamaicans themselves. So I think Portland is a must see.
Mm-hmm.
Going to Duns River Falls, experiencing the falls as well. The list goes on. For me, it's mostly the beaches, but also like going in like deeper in the country. I know most times people tend to visit and stay on the north coast and the south coast, but going deeper in the country, like going Strawberry Hills up in go Blue Mountain, there's so much more to experience in the island by going deeper in the island.
Okay, thank you. What product or service do you offer?
So I'm in the financial services. So right now I'm a coach. So I coach financial advisors across Canada, primarily on retail services, so like mortgages, lines of credit, credit cards, you name it, and on investments.
Okay, thank you. Can you remind us of the market segment that you serve?
The market segment are, for existing customers already who are here in Canada, and newcomers as well. So we target newcomers, people who are even before they migrate. So like countries like, for example, in Vietnam, we have connections with Vietnam where we actually set things up for international students before they even get here. Here in Canada, existing customers, people who are in need of financial services, financial advice, it's everybody pretty much.
Okay. So you don't necessarily have to be here in Canada.
No, it's limited to just a particular country. That's Vietnam. But even before you come here, you can always visit the website to learn about the different products and services even before you come here. So you can learn about that.
Okay, thank you. How does your service add value to people's lives?
I would say it's letting people become more financially educated, especially when I'm coaching or when I'm serving a customer. I have seen where a lot of people, even Canadians who were born here or grew up here, there is a sense of financial ignorance where they don't know how certain things operate, even something as simple as a credit card. So I create value in it providing that financial advice, but also matching the products and services to a customer's needs. So based on, like it's pretty much tailored service and advice to customers based on their needs, providing the right solution, and depending on what life stage that they're at in their lives, providing those services.
Okay, all right, thank you. How did you get involved in this business? Was it a result of training, interest, or hobby?
That's funny. So going all the way back to Jamaica, Scotiabank was my first job out of university. I was just applying away, and that Scotiabank came up first. And since then, I developed a passion for banking and the financial services. And even when I migrated, the love was still there, and I'm still married to it right now. So we haven't broken up yet, but yeah.
Okay. How long has your business been in operation?
This is gonna be 11 years now.
11 years. Okay, cool. Share an experience that blew you away in terms of the impact of your service.
An experience I saw where for example, a newcomer who came to Canada and not understanding the culture of banking and grooming that person from start to finish, from just simple as opening a bank account and knowing how it operates, and now seeing them owning their own home and understanding things way better than when they came here is something that blew me away. When I was a financial advisor in the branch, for example, and that's something I'll never forget, because planting that seed for a newcomer and understanding and that I was myself was also a newcomer, it felt good to actually educate that person that they fully understand the banking system, and more so the credit bureau system, so that they could be able to survive in that world.
Okay, thank you. How did you decide, or why did you decide to come to Canada? What was your immigration process like?
So I was home one day, and I thought of migrating, but where? Thought it would have been the United States, because I've been there quite often. I was open-minded. I like to do research, so I did my research and looked into Canada, and I saw that there was an opportunity where I could immigrate as international student. Took that route. I carefully planned the process over 8 months to be exact. This was back in 2014. Documented my steps, prepared my steps, the steps I would take, did my research, and I went for it. Pretty much I stepped into the unknown, and when I came over here, I enjoyed the fruits of my labor because of the preparation. So that's how I actually ended up coming here. Just having an open-minded interest and doing some research and taking that leap of faith. And also, I wanted to give my daughter a different life experience than Jamaica, that she would have options if she'd like, and even if she want to go back home, she still has options.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good. So you came here as an international student.
Right.
What was the length of your program?
So I did 1 year, which was against the odds back in that time. That was back in 2014.
Mm-hmm. What did you study?
I studied financial planning. I did a postgraduate in financial planning.
Okay.
I was already in the financial services field, so for me it made sense to further do my studies in the Canadian way in the same field, so that it would strategically align me well for the path of permanent residence, which it played out.
That's how you got your permanent residency?
Yes. So yes, I did a 1 year program. My colleagues and friends thought that it was really risky, crazy too. Even before I left, why you would want to leave? Jamaica is nice, you have a good job and everything, but sometimes you gotta take a leap of faith. And the 1 year, that paid off because of my faith in God and working assiduously towards that goal. Like I know I had 1 year, so I had no time to waste, and it paid off.
Okay. Did you come with your family, or did you come by yourself?
No, I came first. So I came and laid the ground first for them, and then 3 years later they came after. So,
oh, man.
Yeah.
So did you have family here?
Sorry?
Did you have family here? I know you came as an international student. Was there family?
No, I didn't know anyone here. That was the crazy part. I didn't know anyone here. And going back to 2014, I migrated here Boxing Day, December 26th. And yeah, I'll never forget. And up until the November prior to that, I still didn't know where I was going to live. And it so happened that a family friend learned about me coming and said, hey, my doors are open. And even then it was very scary because I didn't know this person. But this person has been a blessing in my life, because as you know, we all have heard about horrible stories of people who go to stay with even their families and had a bad experience. And here am I going to go with a stranger. And the stranger turned out to be family to this day. I stayed with them for a while until I got on my feet and went out, and it's something I'll never forget. So it's again, faith, stepping in the unknown, not knowing what lies ahead, but once you have faith, it can work.
Okay, thank you. Share a difficulty and the lessons learned as a result of that experience.
So a difficulty that I had, unfortunately, was past experiences here, where it was experiencing hate in the workplace. Not sure if it was, I wouldn't say it was racism, given the nature of it, but it was just more hate in terms of seeing you making progress. And that tragedy that I'll never forget, just a shocker, seeing how things can be very competitive here, competing against other immigrants, not just from your own country, but immigrants from all over the world. And it actually propelled me to move further in my in that particular company where I was promoted, because it brought exposure to the leaders at B, and they promoted me because they actually had saw that I was being fought against. But the lesson I've learned from it was, you have to be resilient, you have to be open-minded, that we're in a different world. Sometimes we're naive, not knowing that there are people out there who will not necessarily favor your progress, right? Especially as an immigrant. And the lessons learned, I have learned to be very careful of even what I say. So it has caused me to scale back and be humble, even more humble. Meaning, for example, at the time I was only here for 2 years, I would be asked certain things, so how long have you been here? And then when they notice I've achieved so much in that short time, I thought I was getting a congratulatory or celebratory remarks, but it was more from, a hatred standpoint. But it stumped me, but it really allowed me to be more, resilient and even be more careful, especially in the working world. So like I compare it to Jamaica. In Jamaica, it's kind of easy to tell, who is, the vibe that you feel. But here, it's hard because it's covered with a smile, right? So great experience I learned from.
Okay, all right, thank you. What's your personal philosophy or mantra?
I said the 5 P's. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. And I use that because of how I migrated here. I prepared for it step by step, literally had things written down and did a goal setting. First I need to apply for school. First I need to get my student visa. First I need to look at where I would live. As simple as, I say this all the time, as simple as going on YouTube and YouTubing driving in the snow. I did. And I remember the first time driving here, so happened to be in the snow. And I remember YouTubing it back in Jamaica, and I was able to feel more confident. And people may say something as simple as that, but there are some simple things that you can do to empower yourself and prepare yourself for life's journey. And it goes back to those 5 P, proper preparation. That's, so that's my mantra. Proper preparation prevents poor performance, the 5 P.
Share a morning ritual or routine which has helped you well.
So coming from a Christian background, definitely waking up and first thing, praying, thanking God for, waking me up, and also to just give you that energy to go throughout your day, especially when your day might be one that's going to be hard to go through. And added to that, I like to read self-help motivational stuff. So there is the book called The Secret that has these daily devotionals that speaks to just uplifting your energy. So I do that on a daily basis. Every morning I do that.
Okay, all right, thanks. Recommend a must-read book. So I know you mentioned The Secret.
Yeah.
Is there another book? Or if you want to expound a little bit more on The Secret?
I can recommend a book. It's a book by Jay Shetty. It's called Think Like a Monk.
Think Like a
Monk.
Yeah.
M-O-N-K, monk. Yeah. So it really teaches you being humble, and really being humble and having gratitude for what you have around you. Stepping back from your ego, stepping back from the vanity stuff around you, the materialistic things around you, and just appreciating life itself and appreciating the things that life has blessed you with, or God has blessed you with, and being grateful. So, we tend to complain a lot. I myself, I have been a perfectionist, to be honest with you. I'm hard on myself at times. I'm like, oh, I need to get more of this, or I wanted to get here. And then I have to step back and I'm like, no, look at even your path of migrating, the things that you've achieved in the last 5 years. Like, you've even surpassed the goal that you set. So if you're not careful, it's like you're sounding ungrateful.
Mm-hmm.
So step back and go back in that mode of being appreciative of life. So that book, I really recommend that book. That's a good read.
Okay, thank you. Are there any tips you'd like to recommend to my listeners?
Any tips as it relates to
life, immigration?
Immigration, something that, okay, so I've had this topic, I think I have this topic maybe every month because I speak about this topic every month because there's always someone I know. Take the time to read the government's website. I know it can be daunting with the language used. However, if you take the time to read, you will be able to fully understand how you can strategize your path to migrating. That's one of my biggest advice, to take the time to read. Most times people, the first thing they want to do is think of getting a representative per se. Nothing is wrong with that. But even then, ensure that you do your due diligence by taking time and accountability to read the government website. So whatever stage you are at, whether you are trying to immigrate or whether you're here and you're trying to get your PR, take the answers are right there, but take the time and the patience to read. And of course, if you have friends and family, stay close. Draw on a friend that you can ask question like, hey, I'm at this stage in the process. Let me see what's your take on this? How do you interpret this? People who try to do it alone sometimes struggle because I guess I know we want to be private, but have a good circle around you and don't be afraid to ask for help because sometimes that help can save you money from spending too much on legal fees and so forth.
Okay, thank you. How can my listeners make contact with you?
You can reach me on LinkedIn. My name is Dwayne Taylor, or you can send an email to me. Email address is taylorYte@yahoo.com. I guess the Yahoo really shows up my age.
What about that website you had mentioned? What's the name of the financial coaching service?
No, that's just with the bank itself.
Oh, it's just the bank itself. Okay. Is there anything else you want to add?
Yes. One tip as it relates to job hunting. I'll share an experience going back to 2015 when I just came here and I was looking for a job. I know the method or the most popular method is to go online and to apply. However, sometimes you have to think outside the box and strategize. And one way in which I did was I would walk around with resumes I had a knapsack on with my resumes. I would dress in an appropriate way, not necessarily a shirt and tie, but in an appropriate way. And I remember I walked up to a particular bank, a well-known bank. So I walked in and I asked them, by any chance, are you guys hiring?
Okay.
And as a result of my past experiences and in the banking world, I was gainfully employed from there. So what I'm saying is sometimes you think outside the box because you're in a race with a lot of people from all over who are applying, who are just as educated as you are, and in cases too, more educated than you. How are you going to stand out from the rest is that you'll have to think of a way of just re-strategizing and thinking outside the box, right? So, because in many times, there are people who are just as qualified as you are, and in most cases too, even more qualified than you are, who are in the race of trying to get employed. Also, a good tool is LinkedIn. Don't underestimate LinkedIn. If you can afford, pay for 1 month and take advantage of the features that LinkedIn offers that puts you in front of recruiters or give you a direct connection to hiring managers. LinkedIn is a very resourceful website that you can utilize that will help you to get a job.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you to the following persons and websites who made this podcast possible. Dwayne Taylor, financial coach. Xavier Anderson for providing music. Facts about Jamaica were found on www.contrafacts.com. The Intentional Immigrants Podcast can be found on Google Podcast, YouTube, Spotify, and Podbean. If there's a guest that you'd like to hear from, please feel free to email your recommendation to intentionalimmigrants@gmail.com. Of course, as always, I'm asking you, please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, I'm your host, Yolanda Jack, reminding you, he who watches the wind will not sow. He who watches the clouds will not reap. Ecclesiastes 11 verse 4. You were born for greatness. Step out into your greatness so that mankind can benefit from you being here. So long, until next
Welcome
time.
to the front row. Can I get a drum roll? Intentional. We may be immigrants, but we are still intentional. We are dependable. It's just that set the bar, but still the best of all.